Step on up, sit down, twist off that bottle top or crack open that can, and welcome to Porch Matters. This is Terry Cagle coming to you from my back porch. Yes sir, yes ma'am, the name of this show is authentic. On Porch Matters, our saying is this: big issues or just a friendly conversation. No topic is off limits. We take pride in being able to talk about anything with each other in an open discussion. Open discussion is one of the only ways to learn. Your perspective could be changed. You could change the perspective of others. Friends and family, welcome back to another episode of Porch Matters. I'm glad you're here. I've been home long enough to unload the truck and get set up. I just got back from a trip to Tampa, Florida with Stacy. We were originally going to go down to Biloxi for the weekend, but Claudette changed that plan. Still had a very good time. I love that Tampa area. If I was going to move down to Florida, I would move down there. I mean, I enjoy going down to the Redneck Riviera just like everybody does, but I fell in love with Tampa and Clearwater and even Lakeland the first time I seen it. I got people down there that I wasn't able to swing by and see because it was a quick trip, but I'll be back down there soon and hopefully I'll be able to say hey. This also marks the 1-year anniversary of Porch Matters. The trailer was released on July 19th, 2020. I appreciate all of you that have been with me since day one. If they are listening, I also appreciate Melissa and Jason for contributing what they did. As I told each of them, they have a place here on the porch when or if they ever decide to come back. I'm very appreciative for what we have done, but I'm also looking forward to the future and looking forward to many more anniversaries for this show. Porch Matters is still just getting started. Today is also Father's Day. I was blessed to have 3 amazing men in my life that taught me in their own ways how to be a man. My father, my grandfather, and my uncle. I lost my dad in 2012 and then my grandfather in 2015. If you still have yours on this earth, I hope you took the time today to visit with them or call them on the phone and tell them Happy Father's Day and that you love them. Some of us don't have that chance anymore. I'd just about give anything to have that chance again, but I'll see them again one day. To all of you fathers out there, I salute you. I'm not talking about sperm donors. My opinion, big difference between a father and a sperm donor. The way I was taught, when you have a child, your life changes forever. Everything you do from that point on is for your child. Every day you wake up and go to a job and work 8, 10, 12, 14, sometimes 16 hours to provide for your family. Those of you trying your best to raise your children, losing out on sleep to spend time with them, or going to that ball game or practice or dance class, band, whatever the case may be. Always wondering if you're doing right by them. All you can do is the best that you can do. And I salute you for doing it. Because there's a lot of people in this world that don't do it. Speaking of the people I salute, that might be my best segue of the year. On this episode, I welcome Ron Sparks of the Frag Out 22 project. It's a group of veterans helping veterans. We talk about how this project got started, how it works, and how you can help. Without further ado, let's get started. Ron Sparks, welcome to the porch, my friend. How are you doing today?
Doing good, brother. How you doing?
Any better? I couldn't stand it.
Buddy, doing pretty good, man. Just been doing some stuff around the house here and get ready for a busy upcoming weekend with the Shriners and stuff like that. So.
Oh, you're with the Shriners?
Yes, sir. I've been with the Shrine, the Olika Temple out of Lexington, Kentucky for the last 20 years now. So I do that when I'm not at work, and then I wear several different hats. Man, I got that one, and I'm also now doing this with this Veterans Club.
All right, we'll get to that here in just a second. I didn't know until we had our little phone conversation the other day that me and you actually work for the same company.
Yes, sir.
How long have you been with them?
Well, which time? The first time I was with them there about almost 3.5, 4 years, and I that was back in early 2000, somewhere right in there around 2003, 2002, and I ended up quitting them and joining the army, and I done that for the last 14 years, and then I just recently got out. They medically retired me out of the army, and I just recently got back with them here and been with them now about 3 years now.
Was you full time with the Army?
Was with the National Guard, but I was full time National Guard. I was active duty through the National Guard. Done a lot of that, and then with the technician program, they call it. It's like a dual status. I know it's hard to explain to people, but it's a federal technician as a mechanic through the National Guard.
Okay. I appreciate your service.
Thank you.
After you got out of the Army and everything, you came back with the company. How long you been with them
Yeah,
this time?
it's about 3 years now. I guess I was right at somewhere 3 years. I got out in 2018, somewhere right in there, and then I end up getting with them. So I've been with them, about 2.5, 3 years now.
I heard that. That's been about the same for me. June 25th is actually my start date. As soon as it rolls around, I'll have my little 3-year anniversary. Frag 22. What led you to start it, and what's Frag 22 about for the listeners?
Frag Out 22 project started with the friend of mine. He about a year ago, he was going through a difficult time, very depressed, and prior to him was another friend of ours. He committed. Well, I guess back up. I guess I should back up to the statistics. They say every 22 day or every day 22 veterans commit suicide.
That's right.
And so that's where the 22 part come from. And it started out was friends of mine. I've noticed that when I come home from Iraq, where my company alone, we had 3 guys commit suicide. After that, it was a friend of mine that I served with over here in 2113th in Paducah, Kentucky. He was going through a very rough time, and he was going depressed, and he was talking, and his wife talked him into going to the VA, getting help, and the VA wanted to put him in there for 90 days, do the 90-day program to help him. So he goes and does this, and the first thing right off the bat, his wife's car lays down on him, and they went too long after that, the lawnmower broke down on him, and then I think something about his daughter's car, and he was ready to come home. He was done with the VA. He said, I got to come home. My life at home's coming apart. And I was talking to him on Facebook, and I said, I've been bouncing around this idea. I want to do something to help veterans. And I said, what would keep you staying there to get help? And he said, no, my family was okay. And I said, well, what if I done, say, I don't know, some fundraiser, some way to raise the money enough to help your family? And he said, well, that would help. If I could just get her car fixed. If I get the car fixed, and my daughter's car fixed, I'll be, I'm fine. I'll sit here the 90 days and I'll be okay. A couple of the guys that's in this is another Facebook group I'm in, veterans group. We was talking about some things. I said, I just don't know how to get money together. And we was talking about it. And he goes, well, there's another Facebook group that does these things called waffles. Can't say raffle on Facebook because Facebook gets mad at you. And so we say waffles. And we had I asked him, what are you talking about? And he showed me. And I said, I could do this. So I go and to the local gun store here and tell them what I'm trying to do. And they're all about it. They're like, oh, yeah, man. And they help me out. They line me a gun up, get it to me at cost. And the local store here is really good. I'll get to them here in a minute because I got to give them a shout out.
Okay.
Because they've sponsored us really well. So I go to the store. It gives me the gun cost. And I get on Facebook group and I put this gun up for raffle, and no joke, 4 hours. I think I raised. We done it's like $12 a spot, and we done 150 spots, and was sold in 4 hours.
Nice.
I think we were generated somewhere $800 for him. So I called him up and told him, I said, I got $800 for you. I said, will this help? And he said, oh my God, yes, it will help crazy, man. So that's what we done. I give him the $800, and they got the car fixed, got her daughter's car fixed. And I have to apologize. My bulldog's going crazy. The thunderstorm here is going crazy. Got her tore up. So she's going to have to hush. And I really apologize for that.
It's all good. I'm out here on the porch. This show is what is as advertised. I sit out here and record on the back porch. I got cars going by. There'll be motorcycles going by. A while ago, I heard some gunfire down here at the end of the road. It's all good.
She's a little English bulldog, man. She's about a year old, and she's a big old chicken. I love her to death, though.
I understand.
Anyway, back to helping him. He broke down and cried on me, man. Couldn't believe I went out on a limb and helped him out, and he said, "This is what I'm talking about right here." He said, "If the VA could get just to understand this right here." He said, "It ain't about, you know." He said, "Yeah." He said, "I'm great. You know, we got the disability." He said, I'm happy with this, happy with that." But he said, "The biggest issue we're having is family support, trying to get help." He said, "It's hard to step away from your family for 90 days and walk away from it and expect them to survive while I'm in here trying to get the help I need." And then he said, here you're going out on a limb and doing this for me, man." He said, it means a lot to me. So the next week we was sitting there talking, and one of the guys said, "We gonna do another one?" And I said, "I mean, I don't know. I guess I could." But I said, the group I had, the name was just not appropriate. And I said, "We need to come up with a good name. We need to have a good name, and I got to have some kind of help sponsorship on this." So we all got our heads together. A school teacher out of Indiana give us the name, Frag Out 22 Project. She's like, "I hear Frag Out all the time," and I said, "Well, that's when we talk about when we throw a grenade. In basic training, they tell us to you're supposed to holler frag out and throw the grenade to tell everybody, let them know that you're throwing a grenade." And then we had the 22 for the 22 veterans a day, and then project, meaning it just we're just trying to get it started.
Right.
So she ended up donating about $400 to $500. Had a guy out in California donate $200, and there was a veteran that was in Afghanistan that's in this veterans group we're in. He donated $200, and I put all that money together and went right back out there to that store, and I said, "I want to do another one." Told him what it's for, and he said, "No problem. Just go out here and pick your gun out and bring it back in here, and we'll take care of the price." So went out there and picked out. I can't remember what the second one. I think it was one of those big Ruger Precisions or something like that, and come back in there, and sure enough, man, they hooked us up on a good price. Rolled another one, and I think we generated about $500-$600 off it, and that's how. And then from that point, we started a Facebook group called Frag Out 22. Got our page going, and ever since then, each month I do 1 or 2, 3 veterans that I find. I ask them if what's going on in their life, and I've helped. Well, I should say we have helped somewhere around 20 veterans, 30 veterans in the last almost a year now.
That's awesome. How does a veteran be able to reach out to you?
Well, you can go on the Facebook page. It's called, Frag Out 22 Project. It's got the little goat with an explosion behind it. And you get on there, my personal phone number is on there. It's called fragout_22@yahoo.com.
What's your criteria or whatever? What are you looking for or whatever to being able to figure out who you can help and who you can't help?
Well, that's they send an email in, and then subject request assistance, and put a brief description what's going on in their life, and then I have a lady out in Arizona. We're scattered. I got one in California, one in Arizona, 2 or 3 people. Anyway, she's been helping me with doing the paperwork. Megan James, she was a Coast Guard veteran. They send an email in, and she sends them paperwork back to fill out. They fill out that paperwork, and the criteria we look for: you got to be a veteran, you got to be served 180 days because considered a veteran. Make sure you got to have DD 214. You can't just say you're a veteran and fill this paperwork and send it back in. You got to give us some kind of criteria showing that you was a veteran. DD 214. Some kind of ID card. Something. You got to give us something to go by,
right,
without just taking your word. And
right.
then based on what was going on with their life, goes by presence. So take for instance. And I understand everybody's needing assistance right now. Everybody with COVID and everything going on, everybody needs assistance. But we got to weigh each one of them out. So I got a committee, it's about an 8-man committee. We bring the packet on. It's even on Facebook. We got a little messenger group, and I put the packet in there, all the pictures of what's going on, and then we vote on it. Is this guy, what presence, is this here? Are we going to go ahead and help him now? So you take, for instance, somebody that's, if they've got a roof over their head and they're doing okay, but maybe something small that they just need. But then you got this guy over here. He just had his like this. I mean, literally, just takes for instance, this happened just not even like 3 months ago. Guy was needing assistance, needing help moving. We was talking to him, and then just so happened that week, a guy's house burnt down right over here, just a couple counties over. Burnt, slapped down, wife, and with a little baby, and wasn't even probably, I think about a month old. So their house burnt. They lost everything.
Wow.
So we was able to, between donations and running a raffle on that week, we was able to give them $800 that week to get them restarted.
That's awesome.
But so that put that guy on for the next week. See what I'm saying?
Right.
We try to do, emergency, which one's needing now. So, and like I said, everybody's situation, they're all needing it now. And I understand that, but you take somebody that they're, we had here back in Kentucky here back during that time. Also, we had some flooding going on, and the very next week, the rivers rose and had several flooding, and we had to help a couple veterans over there. The house got flooded out. So we was able to raise enough money. I think we raised $600 per veteran, give it to them to get them. I know it ain't a lot. We generated anywhere from $600 a week on the raffles, but $600 get you started, man.
Man, this is the way I look at it, and this is just me, but I'm going to compare this to something like at Christmas time. Okay, there are some people that in this world that come Christmas time, they'll look at the gifts that they were given or whatever and gripe about it. This wasn't nothing. This was just a pair of socks or whatever. Okay. But then there are other people in the world that look at it and say, at least you were thought of enough to get something. I learned that little lesson a long time ago around Halloween. I went to my great aunt's house. She's passed now, but I was little, trick-or-treating, and she wasn't prepared. She didn't have any candy or anything like that. And she went to go hand me an orange. And at the time, I didn't like oranges. I was a kid. I was wanting candy. And she went to go drop an orange in my bag. And I was like, oh, I don't like oranges. But that was all she had. You know what I'm saying? Looking back on it, and that lesson I learned really young. I was like 9 or 10 years old. Even though you're saying that ain't much to somebody, man, give it. That's what you have. And just the thought that you actually give a crap enough to be able to help these people, man, I salute you. I really do. I'm sure that whenever you give your gift, as I'm using the comparison, man, I'm sure they appreciate it, and they're actually grateful that somebody at least cares enough to be able to help. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean that's what I'm hoping, and like I said, it's just not me in this group. If you get on Facebook, also on our page, I think the link says visit group, takes you over to the actual Facebook group, and it's called Frag Out 22 Veterans Club, and inside the club there each week I do 2 guns. Facebook probably don't like it. I got to watch what I say around here, but we do, and it's a hot item, and it's a really hot item, and it's one of those things. So each week I try to do something fun, different. I've done hunting packages where I've got a good like a 30-06 rifle with a backpack full of hunting gear and a tent and a bunch of stuff together, and done like it's like $15 a spot, and you do 100 spots. Well, a lot of these places either donate it or help me out, get enough to where, I mean, just take an example. I may get the stuff at $800 tied in it. Well, you do 100 spots at $15 spot. It helps us clear. We clear about $500-600 on that one, and then I take that money and put it. I have a savings account that's a business account. I put it in the Frag Out account, and it sits there until we need it. And I put the committee together, and then we vote on where the money goes, who gets it, and how it gets it. I don't get none of it. It all strictly goes to a veteran. And I try to look for either homeless veterans that are if it's just the one little thing. They say their car broke down, and it takes $400 to get their car going and get them to work that week. And if I can keep that veteran from losing his job, I'll give him that $400 to get his car going to get him to work. But you know what I'm saying? He's going to have to show me some criteria, show me. And I like a lot of times I don't hand them the money. Like they call me up and say, my car's broke down. Okay, take it to the mechanic shop and have the mechanic call me.
Right.
I'll talk to that mechanic. And this is literally what I've done. I've talked to the mechanic and said, like, take me some pictures, email them to me. I want to see what this car is broke. and then pay him directly, and then I want to see pictures after the car is fixed. So we don't try to get shafted. And I paid, motel rooms for guys to stay like directly to the motel. So a lot of times, the money is not handed directly to the veteran. So we know where the money's going.
Right.
Only time the money's ever been handed directly to them is like if I could meet them in person and hand them a check directly, like the married couple there that their house burnt. I met them personally and hand them a check. And at that point, it's just here's your money. Go get you a house or get you an apartment to rent. Get that baby inside. Do what you all got to do to get yourself started again.
Right.
That's pretty much how we do it. It just started. It's crazy. It started on Facebook, man. It literally started on Facebook from a group that started back in 2014, and it started. It was a little crazy little meme group that a bunch of us veterans got together and started, and it was just we was acting full crazy in it and posting them crazy little memes and jokes all the time. To last year, we started getting serious, and we're like, man, this is all fun, us faking jokes and stuff, but at the end of the day, yeah, it's an outlet for the veterans to go. That's the one group. It is an outlet. They go there, got all the crazy jokes and stuff like that, and raunchy jokes, and they have fun. And at the end of the day, it's a place where the outlet where they can just release themselves there.
Right.
That helps. But at the end of the day, you've also got the serious side of it. Frag Out 22 now. We now watch that group. And if we pick up on something, one of the veterans having a hard time, I actually got a call roster in it. Both groups, I have a call roster set up. It's got my number on it, my personal number, and I told her, it's strictly volunteer. Whether you're civilian or military, if you'll just put your name and where you're located, to where maybe, just maybe, you're the link for somebody to call to help them talk them down out of something. And believe it or not, both groups follow suit, and I've got a list of phone numbers on there that people's volunteered, and so I've given outlet to where I've given the tools. So if they got a problem, depressed, got an issue, they can go on that call roster. If somebody's near them, they can call them, and hopefully either get to them or help them. And so far it's really working out. The Veterans Club now, we're at 2,700 members. And it's growing day by day. The other one is at 7,000 members. I mean, it's between working it, both groups, and then also doing the Shriners, and then trying to be a family man. Man, I'm telling you what, it's a full deck around here, man.
You are wearing a lot of hats, my friend.
I come one here about quitting doing it here just about a month ago. Recently had a friend of mine that I served with 5 years. Me and him served in 2113th together here in Paducah, Kentucky. Man, he was just awesome. He was ex-Marine. He got in the National Guard, and me and him just kind of talked all the time. And he called me Bubba, or my last name's Sparks. He just called me Bubba Sparks all the time, and or just call me Bubba. And everybody either thought it was the Forrest Gump thing, well, either way, we laughed about it, cut up about it, and had a good time. Every time we see each other, he's like, "Hey, Bubba, come here, man," and we cut up and act full every drill weekend and had a good time. And I got out. He went over and transferred to the Burlington unit. And it went like a year or two later, he got out. But we stayed in contact. He called me every other month, maybe once a month, maybe sometimes twice a month. But every time I knew, he'd pick up phone. Hey, Bubba, what are you doing? And I knew exactly it was him. And then about a month ago, he called me, talked to me for probably 2 hours. And then about a week later, he hung himself. And it really, really bothered me.
A few episodes ago, I had a writer-director on by the name of Steve Moon, and he made a movie called Out of the Fight, and it was about this very subject. If you haven't watched it, I strongly recommend it. Very powerful movie. How many instances similar to that have you been running into trying to help these veterans?
That's the one that was closest to me, that really hit home.
Yeah.
I've had a couple others that I knew, like, and this is where also some of the money we take. I took some of the money, and they voted instantly. It's an instant. We vote some money in to go towards flowers and some kind of arrangement for the family, especially the mother. And that's the hardest thing, is going there and hugging the mother. I've been to two prior to that. Was a young Marine. He killed himself in Florida over a girl, and they brought him back here to London, Kentucky, here in my hometown. And I knew the young boy not like real close personal, but I just knew of him, like in passing. Another friend of a friend that we come up by my house here one day working on to work on a vehicle, and me and him was talking, and that was it, you know. And the young boy went on to join the Marines, and then next thing you know, but 2 years later, he killed himself, and that was the first one. I sent flowers to the family, went up there and talked to the mother, and she broke down and hugged me. That was a hard situation. Then there was another one not similar to it, not too long after that, and this last one here was really one that got me, where he was so close to me, and I just said, you know, told some of the guys in the committee, I said, I just don't know if I can keep doing it, but they pressed me on to keep pushing and don't stop, man. They said, you're doing a good job, just maybe, you know, the word will finally get out, but there's actually hope.
What is the main issue that you've been seeing? Is it from what they saw in combat? Is it not being able to adjust well once they leave and coming back in? What's the big issue that you've been seeing?
It's a little mixture of everything like that, man. It's all of it together. It's that in a sense of loneliness, of not having somebody to help them. So when you're in, so like take for instance, like me and this young gentleman here, me and him, we served together, and you become a family there. For 5 years, me and him and several others in that unit, he was in my squad, and we talked, we cut up, and you become this bond. And then like when I got out, so it left him there with whoever was left, and I think it was a couple of other guys had got out not too long after I did, so that made him transfer to Burlington, and then that just got him that lonely. See, that loneliness was there. You know what I'm saying? He's losing everybody, and then he gets out and he feels there's nobody to turn to.
Right.
So, and that's a lot of the veterans. That's a lot of them. See, there's no, they, even though they don't understand that there is people that want to talk to them. It's just some of them are just I don't know how to say it, hard headed. They get hard headed. They get into maybe it's they get into a blind, like they get into a tunnel vision. They don't realize that they got friends to their left and the right that they can call. I mean, I'm not understanding it, because I don't know if I've been there to that point, because I knew whenever I, a long time ago, had got into a certain situation, I knew I had somebody to call and talk to. And it was either my parents or calling a friend of mine, and a lot of them talked me down and stuff like that. So I got help. And that was my biggest situation, was just the loneliness, sense of maybe feeling like there's nobody there, but they are there. It's just what the people don't understand, and these veterans don't understand, that they're, I don't know, man. And it's, some of it is the combats. They come back from combat, and that's over there. You're wearing, as I was told once before, you're wearing the jersey. You're the team player. You get over there, you've got a mission. You've got everything there. You got your brotherhood. You've got a goal or your purpose. Your purpose in life, you know, is, and it sounds crazy, and I don't really,
No, it
people don't
don't.
understand it.
No, it
You
don't.
get over there, you're wearing a uniform, and you wear that uniform. It makes you feel like you're serving your country and doing a purpose, and you feel good about yourself.
Try.
And you get over and you do the job, and you do it with pride, and you come home and say, so the whole year you're there, you're doing this job, and you bond with these guys that you're there with for a year. You're hanging out with them, you're eating with them, you're every time you turn around, because that's all you're right there with your little squad for a whole year, and then you come home and you lose that. So then there's that, you know, you get that sense of loneliness, because you're like, hey man, I sure, and I'm gonna tell you, I sit here sometimes and man, I just wish I was back over there. I wish I was still in. I'll tell you right now, I wish I was still in. I miss it. Even though they're changing, the Army's changed. Everybody's like, no man, you don't even, it's you're good out, stay out. You know, if the Army's changed, it's gotten softer and stuff like that. You wouldn't hack it now. It's you'd be mad at everybody. I was like, because I'm still the old school type military guy. You know, don't ask me why, I just do it. And then we got a lot of the newcomers coming in, the soft armies they call it. They ask why. I was like, you know, I just miss it though. There's days I miss it, and there's days I'm glad I'm out, but there's days I miss it.
I think veterans are running into this issue, and I've never personally served, but I was a corrections officer for almost 10 years, like 9 years and 10 months. So I say I was there for 10 years. I think part of the issue is that I've always compared corrections to the military, meaning I can tell you stuff, but you're not going to understand it unless you've been there. Does that make sense to you?
Yep, exactly.
So whenever, and I totally wholeheartedly understand where you're coming from whenever you was talking about the job, because with me, whenever I walked into that building, I felt like I had a purpose. I felt like I mattered, that I was doing something to help the community, this, that, and the other. And whenever I got out of it, I seen some stuff that I don't really like sharing, but that comes with the territory. And whenever I left, it kind of felt like, even though now I'm making more money than what I was, I still don't feel like I matter sometimes. Does that make any sense
Exactly.
to you?
Exactly.
And it's very difficult to be able to tell and talk about the things that I saw then and everything like that with people because they don't know. And I think that a lot of veterans are running into that. A lot of the ones that I know, I think that sometimes they just hold everything on the inside and don't want to share anything because they know somebody's not going to understand. I know I got into a dark spot at one point in time, and I'm probably sharing too much, but it is what it is. I got into a dark spot at one point in time, and I'm one of those that don't like to burden everybody else with my problems. I'm always the one that likes to reach out and try to help others because that's in my nature. And on top of that, if I'm focusing on somebody else's problems and trying to help them with theirs, my mind is off of my own stuff. Does that make sense to you?
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
Well, I got into a spot several years ago, and I would actually reach out and try to talk to somebody. I talked to two different people that I trusted. Trust was a big issue with me whenever I wore a badge. I didn't hardly trust anybody. The two people that I reached out to and vented to flat out told me I needed to go get some help. So I kindly clammed up again. Sometimes you just need somebody that understands you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I did reach out and I got some help with that issue, and thank the good Lord I'm past it now. But I definitely understand where you're coming from and with the veterans. And if there's any of them that may be listening right now that are going through some stuff right now, reach out. Reach out and get the help that you need. There's somebody out here that is actually willing to listen, and there's several people that will definitely understand where you're coming from. You just got to know where to reach out to.
Exactly right, man. There's that. I mean, you got your, biggest issue is understanding that you got friends to your left, to your right, that you don't really believe, you don't think they're there, but you got some friends that's there,
Mm-hmm.
and it's just like my friend. I just wish he'd just called
Yeah.
me again and talked to me
Yeah.
and just let me know he had an issue.
Right.
The thing was, the conversation me and him had the week prior was he was talking about me. He was asking questions about me, my family, how I'm doing. Every time I tried to talk about him, he deflected back to me, and I just never could understand what was going on. But then a week later, I found out what happened, and I looked back and I was like, man, if he just opened up to me a little more, maybe give
He
me
was
that chance to try.
he was trying to focus on you to take his mind off of his stuff.
It just, and that's the biggest issue with the veteran. Like you said, they clam up, they just don't want to talk. That's the biggest thing I found out, man. Some of the guys they won't help. And then you talk. So even this other group that I have too, we got an outreach program, and it's a messenger group. And on get on Facebook Messenger, and it's called Outreach, and we go in there and you can vent, and it's just full of veterans, and there's somebody there. I keep it turned on where it dings on my phone 24/7. I tell everybody that's in both groups, if you got an issue, let me know, or if you feel like you could help somebody, let me know, and I get you added into the group into that messenger group. And no matter 5 a.m. in the morning, man, if it dings, I don't sleep anyway that much. I'm a light sleeper, and I hear the phone go off. I sit up, and if I open it up and it's that outreach program group, I open it up, I'll read it and see what's happening. And if it's somebody that's having an issue, I instantly right then send them my phone number and like, hey man, call me right now. What's going on with you? Can I help you? A lot of them just don't want to, like they'll open halfway up, and then when you're like really trying to dig in there, it's like, hey, dude, what do you need? Is there something I could do? Oh man, you know what? I'm all right. I'm all right. Like, no, tell me, talk to me.
Right.
You got me up 5 a.m. in the morning. You got a problem? Talk to me. Don't blow me off like this. And
You woke me up. Don't clam up now.
yeah. So I'm like, man, now I've had that actually. And honest to God, I've had that happen 2 or 3 times. Like at 2 a.m. in the morning, phone call, wake me up, get me up, and I go in there and start me a pot of coffee and drink 2 cups of coffee. And he's like, well, I guess I'll be all right, man. I'm like, well, I appreciate you talking to me. And I'm like, no, wait a minute, hold up, time out. We ain't been on the phone 10 minutes here, 20 minutes, and you're already, no, wait, oh, dude, talk to me.
Right.
What's your issue? I mean, is your family okay? Is your kids okay? What's going on? Talk to me. Is there something I can do to reach out and help you? Now, especially now I got this frag out going on, man. Is it what's it bothering you? And I've had, one guy due to COVID, he couldn't pay for his house. Finally got it out of, couldn't pay his house payment. How much is your house payment, man, for this month? $700. Okay, that's all I need to know.
Right.
So if I do a raffle for you, you give me all the criteria I need. You show me you do U214. Show me. And I said, I understand that you're in this group stuff, and you're saying you don't. And a lot of these veterans get mad at me when I'm like, it's just formality. I ain't trying to say you're not a veteran. I just want to know for sure, because I've actually had it happen. Believe it or not, it's sad that there's guys out here that I'm a veteran. Give me money. Okay, where's your 214? Or give me some kind. It's this, or it got burnt, or it got lost, or it got this. Okay, go to the VA and get this stuff, man. But go to your records. Well, I can't. You can. It's there. And then actually finally get to do some digging, because I've got some guys that's pretty good investigators that's on the police force side, able to run some things and actually find out that's either a convict or he actually was a convict, and he's playing the card trying to get money.
Right.
It was like we called him out on it. Like, dude, can't believe you're doing this. Yeah. Here we're veterans thing trying to help veterans, and you're trying to screw them over.
Mm-hmm.
So I ask guys, please don't take it wrong, but just show me proof you're a veteran. And once they do it, all right, we start out. We get a raffle going for them. And I was able to pay that guy's house payment for the month. And that's all he needed was that 1 month, so he could get his job going back again because of COVID. And God love the people that's in the group that is joining on these raffles, that's helped us. That anywhere from the raffles run from $5 to $10 to $15. Some of the bigger guns are $20. And that's when I say that, that's a spot. That's each little spot that you buy. So if I set this gun at, say, 120 spots, it's a $15 buy-in. You can buy up to 5 spots. That's $50. And there's people out here in that 2,700 that's in that group I love these guys. They're supporting me. They're supporting the group. They're supporting what I'm trying to do. And I love them to death. And they flat out, when I put the gun up there, the calling, one they love I think it's the game of it, the challenge of it. Or I don't know what really a lot of the guys doing it. I don't know if it's either way, they join in and we get the gun raffled off. And then I'll get on a electronic, or it's a randomizer that's on the internet, plug in the numbers, 1 to 120, and then hit generate, and it generates me a number, and that's the winner. He gets the gun, and then I take the money that we generate off of it and go over and pay that guy's house payment. Even through COVID, man, we had a lot of supporters. We've got several veteran families. They're all for it, what I'm doing. And I commend them, man. I love them to death. And I can't thank my supporters enough out of that group. So I'm trying to do stuff for them to show them. So even on Mondays, by the way, we do a free Monday giveaway. And I've been hitting these places up, like, believe it or not, like goat guns. I don't know if you've ever seen that or not. Goat gun that's on there. It's little toy goat guns.
Yeah.
I emailed that guy, and he sent me a couple goat guns, vouchers for the goat guns, like $50 vouchers. And I done a free Monday giveaway. Done it last Monday and the Monday before that. Do fun stuff like that for the group to keep it interesting. And then Wednesday at 6:05 and Friday at 6:05 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we do the raffles or waffles, or however you want to call it. Actually, our group, we call them adoptions.
I've seen a couple of posts where you were talking about adoptions.
It's code word. We have to say code word because we got to keep it code on there for Facebook, so Facebook don't get us in trouble. I'm on my 5th account now because of this. Facebook does not like what I'm doing with the guns, but it's what people like, man. And it's if you're a 2A guy, gun-loving, Bible-holding person, son of a gun. This group, that's every one of them, man. They're two-way through and through, and they love their guns, man. I don't want to say that. Like I said, it come this July will be 1 year we've been doing this.
That's awesome.
And I keep looking for, well, just recently I had a veteran over here, and he's actually out of Corbin. He's over in Somerset, Kentucky, over at the hospital. Whatever damage he was in the military for like 3 years. He got medicaled out. His back hurt. Well, he got out, medicaled out, and continued to work. And now, whatever forsaken happened with his back, now he can't feel his legs. They go in there and got checking. He's got 3 bulged discs, pinched nerve, couple pinched nerves. I don't know what's going on with him. He's now 38, 39-year-old, going to have a walker until they do back surgery on him. He's been off work for 2 weeks now. His fiance, she lost her job. Their electric got turned off, and literally come to me Friday and talked to him, and I was able to give him somebody get their electric turned back on and get food in there he's got a little boy. And that's another thing with the veterans of this group too. We've helped kids, man. We don't help veterans. We've helped kids. I've actually had a lady. She got a hold of me and said her little boy. He's a little bit mentally handicapped, and he knocked his game console. I can't remember which one it is now. He had right there. I'm not into it. I don't know what their new ones that's out now.
Would it be an Xbox or a PlayStation?
It was one of them Xbox. I won't say Xbox. We'll go with Xbox. It was an Xbox.
All right.
And she's like, look, I know you got a bunch of followers. And she said, I'm willing to pay for anybody's got a used Xbox. But my little boy broke his Xbox. And this is his gateway to the world, because he can get on there and he feels he's more comfortable in there, and he can talk to them.
Right.
And he gets the internet and talks to them. And I said, like I said, back in my day when I had Nintendo, you didn't have no way talking through these game things.
Yeah.
So I was like, yeah, I mean, I'll try. So I posted up in that group, and this is how our veterans, man, I love them. I love the group. I posted up in there and said, hey, we got a little boy here. He's, got some issues, and he broke his game console. Do we have anybody here that's got an Xbox for sale, use one? She's willing to pay for it, whatever. And this is no joke, guy out in Arizona, and that Megan Jane, both of them. The one had one Xbox, one version. I guess that's what it was, because that one had one different version, and the other one had the Xbox, the newer generation.
A 360 and then an Xbox One.
Yeah, something to that nature. Yeah, because one had one and one had the other, and they said, you know what? Where she lived close enough to the other guy, she drove over there and picked up the other console. Come back, he give the console controller and a bunch of games, and she got her console and a bunch of games and a bunch of controllers, and went and bought some games and put in the box for the little boy, shipped it to my house, and had her bring the little boy up here. And well, he opened it up, and it was like Christmas here. Tickled him to death. Loves the veterans. He I done a live thing on there. He thanked all the veterans, and he told them he loved them, and the calling for the and it give them something. The veterans, it give them something they loved. They helped somebody.
Exactly.
Then it went too long ago here. Just another gentleman that's in the group. His daughter has just had heart surgery, open heart surgery. She had a transplant, a heart transplant. Come out of the surgery and was doing well, and we got together and sent her a huge get well package. It had backpack and veteran stuff in it. We sent her all kinds of stuff, and tickled that little girl to death, of course, and she's doing well now. She's actually home. They just done her seen her his post the other day. It's in her group, the welcome home, her big welcome home from it, and she's so far on a good path of recovering 100%. We help veterans to the kids, man. I mean, that's
I appreciate what you're doing. And if there's anybody listening that's like me, that appreciates what you're doing and actually wants to reach out and try to help these veterans, how can they go about doing that?
Well, like I said, go on the Facebook page. You can go on there, follow it. And then, like I said, you see my phone number on there, and you'll see the Frag Out email. And then look up, see if it's either, I think it's maybe there'll be a little box on the page that says visit group. You can click on it, and it should take you under the Veterans Club. If not, look up Frag Out 22 Veterans Club. Join the group, and once we join the group, just watch, follow along, see the different options going on. Like I said, it's on Wednesday at 6:05 and Friday at 6:05. p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Read the post real carefully. In the post, it tells everything how to join it. And then you can either join the adoptions, but if not, you can just message me on Facebook there or whatever, and you can just donate. I mean, it's up to you, however you know. And then me and my committee, we make sure that the money goes directly to the right place.
Ron, I appreciate you coming on. I'm glad you were able to come on and talk about this. Frag Out 22 project, folks. Remember what he just said. Go to the group, Frag Out, or the page Frag Out 22 project. You'll be able to click on the link that says visit the group. If you're interested in helping this man out and his people out in any way, click on that, join the group, see what you can do. It's a worthy cause. Ron, anything that I can do or the show can do to help you out in any way, shape, form, or fashion, you let me know, my friend.
I sure will, man. I sure do. Thank you for your time.
I appreciate what you're doing, and I appreciate you coming on the porch.
No problem, sir. You have a good one.
You too, my friend. Big thanks to Ron Sparks of the Frag Out 22 project for coming on the porch. Also shout out to the ones who helped make Frag Out 22 project possible. Center Target Firearms in London, Kentucky. Hillbilly Gun and Pond in London, Kentucky. First Law Customs in London, Kentucky. Hawk Creek Armory in London, Kentucky. Soakey Woodworks in E-Town, Kentucky. And Hammer Construction in Doylestown, Ohio. If you like what you heard, go check out the Facebook page by typing in Frag Out 22 Project. Give the page a like and tell them you heard about them on Porch Matters. If you are new to the show and like what you hear, hit that like, subscribe, or follow button and download the episodes in our archives. If this show has been a positive addition to your life, please rate the show and leave a review. Won't take you but a minute, and it really would help the show out. Find us on social media by typing in Porch Matters Podcast in the search bar. Word of mouth is still the best way of sharing. Pick your favorite episode and share it with at least one person this week. There are a lot of people out there that have never heard of a podcast before. I sure would appreciate it. And I'll see you next time right here on Porch Matters.